In my book, there are 4 types of decisions. You have to ask yourself 3 questions. 1, do I make the decision? 2, do I communicate the decision I made? 3, am I going to act on the decision? Now that may sound a little strange to people because making a decision doesn't mean you act on it. You make it here, okay? You communicate it here and you act in here. Now, let's say I have a decision that falls within something I am controlling. We'll call that a basic decision. It's my responsibility. I make the decision, I don't communicate it, but I act on it. Let's say it's a bookkeeper that's paying bills and they're writing a check. They don't need to tell their boss, oh, I'm writing a check now. No, they're doing it already. That's a basic decision. Then you have the next level of a decision where someone has to make the decision, they feel good about it, but they're not 100% because it's a little different than what they normally do. It's a little out of their scope. However, it falls into their department. So they decide, I'm going to make the decision, okay? I'm going to communicate that though, and I'm going to act on it. So it's the only difference between the basic decision and the second one is that I'm actually going to communicate. So I tell my boss, I tell my peer, I'm telling you about it, just so you're aware. However, I made it and I acted on it. It's under my job responsibilities. The next decision, which is a little more advanced decision, is where it's really totally out of my scope, but for some reason or other, it came to me. Maybe somebody's out sick or on vacation and a new thing came up, you've never done it before, and this comes your way. And I believe if something comes your way, you need to do something about it. It doesn't mean you have to take total ownership of it. You may have to find somebody to help you. However, in this case, it's something I'm owning. However, I've never done it before. Well, again, I make the decision. I also communicate it. However, I don't act on it. I'm going to go to my boss or my peer or someone that's within my department. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them, this is the situation, this is the decision I'm making. Do you agree with me? Because I kind of need somebody else to say, yes, I would make the same decision before I actually act on it and get the support. There's a 4th decision. This is something totally outside of your scope. You don't make the decision, you don't communicate anything because you didn't make it, and you don't act on it. Those are the 4 levels. And from an entrepreneur perspective, I believe an entrepreneur needs to empower their employees and their peers to make those decisions at the proper level and communicate to them how they should make those decisions and when they make those decisions. Because otherwise, you're no longer an entrepreneur, you're really a solopreneur. And if you're a solopreneur, you're doing everything. And we'll talk about that later.